Okay. So we have with us Mr. Prabir Roy, who is an advisor with WASME. He has spent a lot of time with the Department of Atomic Energy. And a very interesting shift. After having spent a lot of time with the Department of Atomic Energy, he moved on to the media side. And he spent some time with Star TV. And from there, he moved further on. He was with another French group. And so he's had a lot of stint in the media piece. And he is right now on the advisor board of a number of organizations. This is one, WASME is one of them. During this journey, he has also built a couple of organizations which are in the space of fintech. So I'm really excited to listen to you, sir, because you got such a vast experience, different domains. So for me personally, it would be of interest to know, how do you wear so many caps and manage them simultaneously? All right. So we'll just come to you. And Mr. SM Zilur Rahman has also joined in.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. Rahman, are you celebrating Eid today? Or
yeah. Today our Eid. Yeah, our festival Eid al-Adha. Thank you very much.
So, Eid Mubarak. Okay.
Welcome.
So,
thank you very much, everybody.
So we may not be able to celebrate with you with the lamb, but we'll definitely have the sheer kurma.
Yeah, no problem. It's okay.
Okay.
Please.
So we understand that you had some difficulty in joining in. We're really sorry from our side. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I always prefer our WASME program. It is a priority. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So Mr. Zilur Rahman, he is the CMD of Rahman Group of Industries, which again is into multiple industries. Okay, so they are into garments, textiles. They also own a couple of restaurants, so into food and beverages business. They are also into real estate, and they also have interest in international HR consultancy, and are also into export and import business. So this is a little bit from the business piece of what he does. He is also doing a lot of CSR, so doing a lot of work for the society in large. So he is on the association of, yes, I'm not able to pronounce it, Karate Do, right? So you're associated with karate, is it? We're not able to hear you, you're muted. You're muted, sir. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. All right. And he also is on Fatima Mahmood Foundation, which runs educational institutions, some madrasas. Okay. He is also on the Consumers Forum of Bangladesh, and also is is associated with the Diplomatic Journal, which is a very respected publication in Bangladesh. All right. So we'd love to hear more from you as we get along. Okay. And also let me present to you Dr. Sanjeev Layak, who is the Executive Secretary of WASME. I would definitely say that he is the one who's probably bearing the largest weight of the organization. And he is ensuring that work happens, and all the people who are associated with WASME, they get support on a day-to-day basis. Okay. I had a very general conversation with him a couple of weeks back, and then I proposed to him that why don't we have a panel discussion for WASME on e-growth. He did not blink an eye, and he said yes. And after that, he organized, and today, okay, one thing which I probably missed is Mr. SM Zilur Rahman. He is from Bangladesh, so right now he has logged in from Bangladesh itself. Okay, we probably have some people who are from other parts of the globe, some people from the African continent as well. So this is who Dr. Sanjeev Layak is. He manages an organization which is spread across the globe with a single purpose of creating value for small and medium enterprises. So gentlemen, put your hands together for WASME. WASME is an organization which started way back in 1980s and has been taking its baby steps and then its giant steps and then going beyond it. So we would like to hear today, or rather we would be educated today on what WASME's journey has been and what are the further steps. So Dr. Sanjeev, if you can please start, and I would request you to please invite Dr. Zilur Rahman as well as Mr. Probir Roy and some other of your office bearers who are there whenever you please, because I may not be very, I may not know that. Yes, sir?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Atul ji, for inviting us and creating such a wonderful platform here. And I'll be just love to share WASME, what is our experience over there. And I'll be just presenting our views. Then one by one, we'll be just inviting other dignitaries over there. Mr. Rahman is there, Mr. Roy is there. Okay. So first,
and then towards the end, we will have an open session wherein all of us can ask questions to get to know things better.
Yeah. First, I will introduce WASME. What is WASME and what are the activities we are just doing with the presentation. WASME is World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. It was established in 1980, and we are the we are creating a platform for small and medium enterprises, and we are working on 4 different platforms. Like we have got international division, national division, startup division, and women wing division. In the international division, we have got member representatives in more than 100 countries. National, we are just associated with 15 ministries of government of India, central as well as state government. In the startup, we are just giving so many things for the startups and all, so that they can be empowered. In the women wing, we have got dedicated 700 women entrepreneurs across globe. We are just empowering them in all the 3 verticals of the business, like credit, technology, and the market access. And before going further, let me just talk about what are the strengths of WASME. This is an international organization. It was founded in 1980, so more than 40 years old organization. And we have got the United Nations consultative
So you need to unmute yourself. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is it? Am I audible?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So we have got the United Nations consultative and observer status. So 6 organizations are there in India. We are one of them. Like United Nations body like ECOSOC, UNCTAD, ITC, WIPO, UNIDO, UNESCO, UNICITRAL, UNESCAP, and ILO, and various types of intergovernmental organizations and international organizations like WCO, OECD, ISB, and all. We have been already doing so many international conferences on sustainable development goals of the United Nations. Till date, we have organized 23 international conferences in different countries. Out of that, 4 in India. I'll be just briefing about international conference later. We are closely associated with 15 ministries of government of India, linkages with the SME Association across globe, SME Association of Nigeria, Mauritius government is our member, like that. NABED certified organization, organized 50 international and national conferences, seminars, We have got a very good dedicated networking of entrepreneurs, researchers, academicians, and all. We have got a very good advisory board, renowned advisory board. We have got ecosystem of incubation system and startup. We have preached that startups and MSME so that they can be benefited. And as you are aware of that, MSMEs are the backbone of our our economy, and 99% they contribute to our economy. 99% and 30% to the GDP. They are generating 70 to 80% of the employment. And micro, whenever we are just talking about the micro, they are having the turnover less than 5 crore. They constitute more than 95%. So very good number are there, and they have got very different challenges. We need to just handhold to them. We have got member representatives in 112 countries and government association across globe like Nigeria, means China, Mauritius, and all. We are just giving what we do: establish, promote, set up, create mechanism. We are the catalyst also. We have got these are the international networks, UN agencies, civil societies, research organizations, and all. And we have got the governance, and through governance you can have this is the portfolio of this government: president, secretary general. We have got 4 vice presidents from Bangladesh. Mr. Rahman is already there. From Swaziland, Nepal, India, and I am the Indian executive secretary here. Member representatives in all. So we have got membership category also: general, permanent, associate, and associate member, India chapter. These are the membership benefits: participation in the means various types of events and activities, exposure, enterprises support, information dissemination. We are into publication. We used to publish with e-bulletin, newsletter, and all. And these are the activities we are associated with: policy advocacy, international cooperation, research and publication, resource. We have got very good conferences and all. So these are the highlights of what we can support to the micro one, MSMEs across globe. We are just making the SMEs the global, why global player? Now the MSMEs are there. We have got member representatives in different countries, like Bangladesh is there. If anybody wants to do any kind of activity or any kind of export to that country, we can connect to them. Swaziland is there, another Mauritius, China, and other countries already there. 3 verticals of business we are supporting: scaling business. We are just creating platform for banks and other investors, and international connect of more than 100 countries, support value chain of the organizations and other startup support. These are the highlights. These are the conferences: 23 conferences in different countries. They are aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So this is all about WASME. We have got international headquarters at Noida. Any further discussion? We would love to share all the types of information. These are the achievements over there. This is the Noida head office, and this is the proposed building and all. So I would like to just invite Mr. Rahman to share his views on the Bangladesh SMEs. Mr. Rahman.
Thank you, Mr. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Saab, you might want to stop sharing the presentation.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sanjay Naik and Mr. Ratul Puri and our honorable other distinguished guests. It's my great pleasure that today having this meeting. Now today, we have the festival, but it's okay. I feel comfort, and after that meeting, I will go to our family members to observe our festival. So just as Mr. Just like now told about our SMEs in Bangladesh. SMEs in Bangladesh, in fact, this is the not only in Bangladesh, I think it is the worldwide. The as already I mentioned, I spoke in our last meeting when it was in India, that it was the backbone, not only for the Bangladesh, for any country in the world. The SMEs are the backbone for the economic growth. So this sector is playing an important role, and important to develop the economy of not only for Bangladesh, for any country. The role of SMEs sector is immense to alleviate the poverty from the country, as well as so small and medium enterprises are particularly suitable for the densely populated countries like Bangladesh. With the Bangladesh, we are very small country, but we have the large population. So like this country, the small, especially these SMEs are very important, and they play the very important role for the economic growth. So like Bangladesh, where SME sector can provide huge employment opportunity with much lower investment. And for the creation of jobs, reduce poverty, drive a resilient national economy. So this all from the SMEs. The International Monetary Fund country report indicated that SMEs in Bangladesh accounted for more than 99% of private sector industrial establishment and created job opportunities for 70 to 80% of the non-agricultural labor force. In Bangladesh, the total number of SMEs in Bangladesh now estimated to be, it is about 8 million establishments. Among of them, 93.6% are small and 6.4% are medium. So our, this in the Bangladesh, mainly for the empowering of SMEs, Bangladesh government empowering through one organization, this name SME Foundation. This is established by the government, and this it's a company limited by guarantee and licensed by the Ministry of Commerce under the Companies Act of 1994. It is running under the guidelines as stated in the memorandum and articles of association. So SME Foundation, this is the main hand for the Bangladesh governments for empowering our SME sector. SME Foundation established, I have to say about the SME Foundation because this is our main hands for the Bangladesh empowering the SMEs. So I have to highlight it about our SMEs. Then I coming to our part, our WASMI part. This SME Foundation is established by the government of Bangladesh through Ministry of Industries as an apex institution for SME development in the country. The major activities of SME Foundation are implementation of SME policy, strategies adopted by the Bangladesh government, policy advocacy and intervention for the growth of SMEs, facilitating financial supports for SMEs, providing skill development and capacity building training, facilitating adoption with appropriate technologies and access to ICT, providing business support services, etc. So, as I just mentioned, that in Bangladesh now the SMEs, they are during this pandemic, not only for like the other parts of the world, all the SMEs, they are already disrupted, and the government of Bangladesh already declared for this SME sector about 20,000 crore Bangladeshi currency for this is a incentive package. As the SMEs, they can run their business. And now already the different bank, they are working on it, and in every bank, Bangladesh government already they have given instruction, and already it is going. It is the now it is currently they are doing one SME department in each bank, in every bank. So the SMEs who are involved in the SMEs, even in the micro, they're going to the bank and they're trying to get their some financial support, as the Bangladesh government has given the declaration, given the the instructions. So there are some, of course, have some criteria should have to maintain, and this already we from the like WASMI. Already with our honorable ministers, we had a meeting, and we are here and there in everywhere, wherever we are getting the we are getting privilege. We are trying to say to the government that please ease this system as the SMEs can get the financial support, because the government has given their system, their procedure as they're thinking, as the thinking of the from the bureaucracy, but with the practical people, in the practical, when you go to the practical, many SMEs, they are not in the banking, they are not habituated to the banking channel. And who are habituated, who has the line with the banking, they also have, maybe there's something lacking of the documents, required documents, lacking of some information. So for this way, also one our Bangladesh, one Apex Chamber, this is Dhaka Chamber of Commerce, already they also opened this during this pandemic. They also opened one SME development department. So what they're doing, I am also the director of Dhaka Chamber of Commerce. So what they are doing, who are the SMEs, they are coming to the Dhaka Chamber of Commerce, and Dhaka Chamber of Commerce, they are giving them the guidelines, giving them the advice, because many SMEs, they don't have idea. Maybe they have the documents, but they don't know how to prepare these documents to submit the banks to fulfill the government criteria. So this is also the Dhaka Chamber of Commerce, they are doing. For this is why I must like to thank to Dhaka Chamber that they are helping to the SMEs in Bangladesh for like this supporting. So, and like this now our SMEs, many people, just before some days, before yesterday, I had one meeting that there are with the all of the vice chairman, women vice chairman in Bangladesh from the different part. So what was their request, that we want to do something, we want to support our economy, but we're not getting our financial support from the government, from the bank, from this. So everybody they have like this, and we're not getting the support. We're not getting our proper platform to sell our goods, to sell our products. So how we can do? Please, sir, you help us. So I was the chief guest in this program. So I told them, like this WASMI, this is one of the best platform in the Bangladesh to get your buyers, your marketing platform. This is the WASMI. I told them, and they are very much happy. So Bangladesh also, we have other different platform, but I would say now with the WASMI, we are playing our role in Bangladesh for this manufacturer, for this producer, from the corner of the village to the town. Whoever involved in SMEs, even in the micro, we are supporting them by sharing our information, by sharing our buyers, by sharing our marketing knowledge. So this is, we are doing WASMI. So now, as I told, our Bangladesh, the people of Bangladesh, the SME people, they are very good. They are getting privileged from the government trying their best. And I hope in future, it will be easy to get the facilities from the government as the SMEs they are expecting. Thank you very much. And time to time, I will say more. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Roy, so that he can just focus on what are the challenges the SMEs are facing and what are the opportunities for them in this COVID era. Yeah, Mr. Roy?
Good morning, everyone. Eid Mubarak to our good friend, Mr. Rahman from Bangladesh. Good morning to Sanjeev. Good morning to Atul. I think Dr. Sanjeev has very clearly given some very good introduction to WASME. WASME is a quasi United Nations organization, and it has members from over 112 countries. I have spent many hours discussing with WASME office bearers in their office in Delhi. It's the most impressive office. They were very dedicated and genuinely interested team who are trying to propagate the message about the importance of MSMEs, not only in India, but actually in the entire subcontinent. As as Mr. Rahman was saying, and that we in India are no strangers to knowing the importance of MSMEs in the economy of a country. As you all know, especially the people from India, that MSMEs are 30% of our GDP. They are 50% of India's exports. And I believe that in the next few years, they will become 60% of India's exports. 45% of India's manufacturing capacity is coming from MSMEs. And more than 120 million people are employed in MSMEs across the country. The size of MSMEs itself, as normally Dr. Sanjeev Layak often introduces the organization, there are 63 million MSMEs in India. This itself is a phenomenal number. And out of the 63 million, probably not more than 10 or 12 million have a GST registration. That means 80% of our MSME ecosystem is below the radar, is in the informal economy. Very little data is available about them. More the reason why after pandemic, just like in Bangladesh, the government of India has introduced a lot of stimulus, a 3 lakh crore stimulus for MSMEs to give them credit, to give them working capital, to help them to shorten their receivable cycles, to help them with their working capital. And this is slowly reaching out to MSMEs. It is going to take some time. Banks are lending, but at the same time, not all MSMEs have access to credit and formal capital, institutional capital. So there's a bit of a contradiction here. How do we reach the last person, last MSME, and give him some support? One thing the government has done is trying to pay all their dues to MSMEs. Nearly 5 lakh crore dues were there pending from government organizations to MSMEs in India, with the government of India, central government, PSUs, and many other organizations. So one objective has been to try and clear that outstandings that government owes MSMEs. That is number one. Number two, the government also has started a program of refunding the GST input tax credit. That also there was a lot of lag and backlog. So I'm glad to say that process of refunding has started. So with these two itself, some lubrication to the MSME economy is taking place automatically. So even if the credit is not reaching, or the financial stimulus is not reaching, or order book is not getting refilled, or your receivables are slightly delayed, now with these two, hopefully some better situation should prevail in the MSMEs. But yes, it is in a pretty dire straits. And in one of the WASME programs, one of the very eminent MSME chairman company said that 30% of all MSMEs might need to shut down in this country. So that is one factor. The second factor is the distress factor, that how has pandemic affected MSMEs? Now, definitely there is a huge impact. And let's take something which is close to Mr. Rahman's heart also. Let us take the textile industry. 83,000 factories are there in MSME in India which do textiles. They employ about 10 to 12 million people. 50, now all of them got shut down. Slowly, I'm hearing that in the next few months, 50% of them will go to 50% capacity. And the next 1 or 2 years, they hope to slowly keep pushing the capacity and the production higher. But it will take some time to go back to the pre-pandemic times. Now, textiles is also like the backbone of MSMEs. It's a part of manufacturing. So it's had an effect across the board, not only for manufacturing, but also services. And as the pandemic, the lockdowns are coming off, workers are coming back, and demand is yet to pick up. But as and when it does pick up, then possibly MSMEs can play the role of being the backbone of the economy. But this is a good time, as I tell everybody, including Dr. Sanjeev and Vasme has had a lot of programs on how MSME people should use this opportunity to adapt themselves to the new complexity, to adapt themselves to the new normal, because the old ways of doing business are gone forever. As chairman of Grameen Bank said that we should not want the old ways to come back. Mohammad Yunus has said very clearly, the new ways is what we have to adapt, and only companies and organizations which adapt themselves immediately and swiftly and don't wait for old ways to come back, they are the ones who will survive. So Vasme has been taking a very good initiative. In few weeks of pandemic, they started a series of webinar programs addressing MSME owners, MSME entrepreneurs, MSME executives, MSME workers on what they should be doing. So we have got speakers, 10, 12 speakers from all walks of life, mental health specialists, business specialists, leaders, research specialists, FMCG specialists, chief economists. So giving the MSME people a wide variety of opinion, tips, observations, insights, so that they can learn something from these seasoned people who have been through many crises and then try to make some changes in their strategy. So that is one initiative that Vasme has taken from a very early period of time, and I was happy to drive that initiative. Till date, we have done about 13 to 15 webinars where 15 to 20,000 people have attended. Purpose of webinar also is to communicate and make people aware of what is the issues. They are not the only ones who are suffering. These are the some of the guidance that we can give and keep them mentally active and thinking. The second thing Vasne has initiated, and it will start in September, is a series of paid webinar series for all MSME people to come and pick up a new toolkit for post-pandemic, how to adapt yourself, new business modeling, new strategies, new HR, new ownership, owner skill sets. These are some of the modules we are going to be disseminating over 4 to 6 such programs, and we are getting a good response. So I think through these virtual tools that Vasme has quickly pivoted, we noticed that Vasme possibly could be one of the most active industry associations in India, at least post-pandemic, by going online, by going virtual. The larger industry associations, because they're used to slightly different ways of working, they are taking time to adapt themselves and be of any good use to their stakeholders and their subscribers and their members. But Vasme has been very quick to be able to use virtual and cyber and tele to be able to communicate with a lot of their members and getting very good response, if I may say so. So I think adaptation is very key. And just yesterday, we had another session where one lady entrepreneur from India, from Bengal, next to Bangladesh, now based in New York, and stuck in Bangalore has built $150 million business in a very short period of time. Small scale business, was into e-commerce, went into medical textiles, went into pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, lifestyle, and now in a short period of time, this company, not in the last few months, but over the last 3 or 4 years, but especially in the last 3 months, their revenues have increased nearly 5 to 10 million run rate they are getting on their revenues. So this was a great inspiration yesterday and a great motivation, not only for seasoned entrepreneurs like many of us are here, but also for newcomers. There was school teachers, people, engineers, smaller businesses who were very impressed that a young lady from Bengal at a very young age ran away from home and started a small business and then made it $100 million business in a very short period of time, just by sheer adaptation, sheer flexibility, sheer risk taking. That wherever she saw complexity, wherever she saw uncertainty, she said, this is the time for me to move in. This is not the time for me to stay back and wait for things to get better. This is the way for me to quickly shift my focus from digital to e-commerce, from e-commerce to manufacturing, etc. So I think that kind of adaptation and response is very heartening to hear. There are entrepreneurs who are actually, many of them are fearful, no doubt about it. And but I personally feel, and Dr. Sanjeev will know, that I personally see that every crisis has a silver lining. Every crisis is an opportunity. For whom? Not for government, for small scale business, for entrepreneurs, for young entrepreneurs. This is the time where the system is disrupted. This is the time when there's an opportunity. This is the time where you can, if you have a value proposition, because things are uncertain, you will get a better chance of showcasing these opportunities. And if there's some value in them, you will automatically, the tide will lift your boat. You don't have to wait for the better days. You have to move now. So these are some thoughts that we have had at the Small Business Association in India. And I am told that as even in the US, the Small Business Association is a very powerful lobby, and whole of America also, like India, runs on small business. But there the government has given a $3 trillion stimulus to small businesses to help them to keep their employees, prevent them from shutting down, paying their rents, paying the electricity bills, and keeping them as going concern, with only one core objective, that if all these people continue to get the salary and we continue to fuel the economy, then the demand for goods and services will not fall, and there will constantly be a demand, and that will be driving production and manufacturing. So consumption-led investment and production will take place. So I think that is the one way to ensure that the economy doesn't fall into recession or depression or stagflation, and to keep the aggregate demand going by fueling the small businesses, which is the heart of the US economy. So as Sanjeev said, that by the new classification of Government of India, India has now 99% of all businesses in the MSME sector. So you can imagine that such a large country, but still so many big corporates, so many big names, but still they are a small percentage, a small fraction of the entire economy. So the major economy is the mom and pop store, the vendor, the thelawala, the cell phone, the entrepreneur, the MSME guys. These are the major economy constituents in this country. So I think it's a, frankly, we look forward to small businesses taking their rightful position as the
Hello.
backbone of the country.
We are on in front of the screen.
Hello? Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
So I think to reach the backbone of the country, you have to now really step up, and with the help of Vasne and other government, semi-government, quasi-government organizations, hopefully we can spread the communication and awareness of what small business can do for the country, what we need, where are we right now, what is our position, what is our problems, how do we address it, and then with the efforts of everybody, bring programs, bring new business ideas, new strategies, new schemes, so that we can use it as a platform to really drive and occupy those positions that we feel we should. India always has relied on agriculture as a buffer, as everybody knows. If industry is suffering, always fall back on agriculture. Even this year, they're saying agriculture 3 to 4% chalega. So they will save us. Crops are doing well, rains have come, agriculture will save us. I want to know, and I want to hear in the years to come, industry is doing badly because of global problems, but our MSME sector will save us. So the slogan should be, let us not always look to agriculture to save us. Let us
Mr. Roy,
look to
is it okay
MSMEs
if
to
I
save
ask you
us.
something?
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So while we're talking about the government as the savior, whether it is in India or it is in the US or it is in Bangladesh or elsewhere, my personal belief is if we have the intrinsic strength, that is something which takes us further. All right. So from that perspective, what is your opinion or what is your point of view on how is it that these small businesses, they can strengthen themselves? Because see, when we look at the larger businesses, from the Indian perspective, the Tata, Birla, Ambani, Adanis, they've got enough resources, they've got enough clout to do whatsoever they want. But the mom and pop stores, the thelawalas, they one, by virtue of the business and by virtue of the exposure, they're not able to see far beyond, and they've got to live on a day-to-day basis. As much it is a challenge for India, it is maybe a bigger or a similar challenge for countries like Bangladesh and others, which are high in population. We've got to feed larger number of stomachs of families.
Well, I think Atul, you asked really $1 million question, and
That is my job.
this is I wish I could give you the best answer, but let us together try to come to a assessment that I think you're absolutely correct, that I didn't mention some of these points because I don't want to talk about a situation so deep hole that we can't see the sunlight. I want to always dig a hole, half sunlight I can see, so I can hope to get out, that there is a brighter day for me. So that is the first thing. But yes, in India and in Bangladesh, that our MSME sector actually lives day to day.
And just one thing, do we have any guests here who are from countries other than India and Bangladesh? Anybody? All right. Yeah, please, Dr. Roy, Mr. Roy.
So MSMEs actually, to be quite frank, live a hand-to-mouth condition. You know that. MSMEs are where they depend on daily income, daily revenues. The workers in MSME sector are all within the informal labor economy. That means they are on contract, they are daily wages, they have no permanent secure service conditions. It all depends on orders, bookings, what is in demand, state of the MSME production, economics of MSME sector. So there's a huge amount of uncertainty in MSME, even with no pandemic. Now you double it and say with pandemic, now the daily wage laborer is not getting daily wages. Daily wage laborer has no savings. Daily wage laborer has no money to go back to his hometown. Daily wage labor, if he goes back to hometown, has no job there. So it's a chain of chain reaction.
Right. So can we see we've moved the conversation to something which is real, which hits the where the rubber is meeting the road, and that is where the impact lies. Okay. In case of an army or a military, when you're on the front, your job is to remain alive till the time you get support. The $1 billion support from the American government or from the Indian government or from the Bangladesh government, that takes time to reach. By that time, if you are found dead, it's over. So what do we do there? How does the MSME remain alive? How does he remain afloat?
Okay, so
That is, I think, the questions we are talking about. And what does WASME do in that space?
Very good. Atul, I think since you're really getting into the hard facts and hard reality, I will just say a few things. First thing is that I will quote somebody who's an active member of WASME and one of Noida's and North India's top small businesses. He said to me, Probir, 30% of all MSMEs will shut down. Then he says, why will they shut down? He said, because their era and their value chain and their value proposition has ended. Now, new MSMEs will take their place. So that is the opportunity. Now, how can WASME, instead of trying to resurrect or save organizations whose life has probably come to a better conclusion, how can WASME ensure that in the place of the 30%, new types of entrepreneurs come in? So that is number one. Number two, of the 70% left, how can we be of any help to them? So in these two respects, I think Sanjeev has initiated some new initiatives. One is young entrepreneurs, incubation centers, digital and startup company tech support or tech incubation centers, getting a lot of newer members from the digital and e-economy to also become members, and helping existing MSMEs to pivot their strategies from retail, B2C, face-to-face, brick and mortar, to also understanding the power of the internet, the power of e-commerce. So I am starting a program in September, exactly what you said. How should MSME owners re-strategize their thinking? What should be the core of that thinking? And we are going to talk about the e-economy, and we are going to talk about new strategies that they should adopt and new methods to come to those new strategies, and how they should totally reorient their mindset and attitudes so that they are ready to take on the new opportunity. So it's more a shape-shifting series of programs we are starting under the banner of WASME for new entrepreneurs, as also existing entrepreneurs who are saying, what can we do now new, or what can we do now differently? What is e-commerce? What is technology marketing? What is social media? What is technology-based distribution channels? So we hope that some of these thoughts will percolate and permeate amongst the MSMEs who have been very reluctant, frankly, to adapt and adopt to e-commerce or e-economy or the digital economy. So I think our key focus in the next 1 year should be that how to bring more of India into the e-economy, not just people in big towns, 125 towns and cities, but the bulk of the Indian economy, which is 30% of GDP, 50% of exports, the people there, the 63 million people, how can we get them into the e-economy? Now, you will ask me, Atul, give me some concrete examples. So I will tell you that the government of India is also trying to start an equivalent of Alibaba. Government of India is encouraging Amazon to start their services for bringing on board more small businesses onto their platform. And Amazon is spending $1 billion in trying to board the shopkeepers, the corner shop, the telawalas, the vendor, the self-employed person onto their digital platform, so they will get a wider market for their products and goods. So this focus is there from the large e-commerce players, that how do we reach out to the major heart of the Indian economy?
The irony is, one is I kind of logged out and I missed 10 minutes in between, so I was not able to listen to Mr. Rahman's last part of the conversation. Second is just to carry your conversation forward, Mr. Roy. What is of interest for an Amazon is that India is a large market, and they are true blue Americans who are going after the eyeballs, right? So, and what if this technology is not there tomorrow? Okay, so we are talking about well, 2020, everybody is saying this is the year of survival. If you survive this year, that itself is an awesome thing. Once you're there, only then you would look at the next step. So I think that is something which is important, and that is a question for all of us, right? And I must definitely say that the conversation that WASME has put together today is really awesome. It definitely gives us a number of openings. It definitely gives us some food for thought. And I personally think that as an organization, you've been doing some great work. Okay. 10:30 is when officially the conversation gets over. So I would request for an extension for say another 15 minutes, so that some of us would have some questions. We can ask those questions. And I will just ask one question to Mr. Zehur Rahman, if that is okay. So, Mr. Rahman, my question to you is, as India, we were doing pretty good in garments and textile space. And over the period of time, we saw the industry shifting towards Bangladesh and some other countries as well. I want to know what was that magic pill that Bangladesh had, or what efficiencies did Bangladesh bring into their industry or the way of working, which allowed them to become an awesome center for textile and garments? You will need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Mr. Puri, this is Tapan.
Yes.
Mr. Jiller is not there.
Mr. Jiller is there, but yeah,
He is
please.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was not seeing he can reply on that. Then I will
Right.
participate.
Yeah, sure.
No, you can allow Mr. Tapan Kumar Nath. Yes, our one of the expert here from Bangladesh. So, Mr. Tapan Kumar Nath, he will say something first, then I will, okay?
Okay, Mr. Rahman actually used to lead a Rahman Textile.
And so let me welcome Mr. Tapan Nath. I understand you have been with the government of Bangladesh. You were there as the I think assistant secretary. I
Deputy
read
Secretary.
the chat that you shared.
Yeah.
Deputy secretary, and I'm sure you have some perspective from the government and also from the SME space. Yeah, thanks. Your
Okay, thank
inputs will be
you.
really valuable.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, very rich discussion from India and Bangladesh side who participated. I thank you and congratulate you all. Today, actually, Mr. Jillur mentioned that it is Eid festival, but in the festival, we are in a different mood. This is a serious discussion. I thank you, Dr. Sanjeev, who actually presented about our WASME. And there's, I saw Dr. Agarwal, sir, and other who actually assigned me as a permanent representative of WASME in Dhaka. And then we actually involved Mr. Rahman and other. And one of our dream was actually succeeded when my minister, industry minister, Mr. Rahman and other participated SME Foundation in the WASME conference in Dhaka. The question I would like to reply on that, this is the one of the key word, dexterity of our lady of Bangladeshi. Our women, our sister working in the garment sector, they have so fine dexterity of the finger who can fix the swing and other things very nicely than other people. And as a psychologist or as a uh, a student of anthropology, I studied it. We had muslin in Bangladesh. Muslin is such a nice, fine sarees. You can put it in a ring. It was muslin is a saree. It was reputed all over the world, and you can put a saree in a match box. So this is our traditional things our women doing in the garment sector, and they are so efficient and productive because of some global changes in the economy or market and other things and competition with the China and other. Our garments factory sometimes going little down. Now again, after pandemic, we find some light that garments is another hope. Yesterday newspaper told, and in the media also, Mr. Jiller is known about it. So the question of Pobir Rai, I must say that our young lady, so they can so hard work with their dexterity of the finger is a magic, I should say. I don't know other part of the India, but the Bengal, the tat sari, and other fine things. My mother, you can see my mother behind me and my father. Both of them was entrepreneur. It is actually what I swear. By chancely, I find them in the
Namaskar to
background.
your mother and your father.
They expired. They
Dada,
expired.
yeah.
My father was an SME entrepreneur who moved from village to Chittagong city, and he was actually later because of urban development. He was again pushed to the village, and there he started again the small business. My mother, I saw her that when she was actually used to do weaving with the cotton and other things, and this was our family tradition to do that. But the system later deteriorated. The garments and other textile industry came up, and with the very good example.
Dada, it's okay if I call you Dada, right?
It's okay, no problem. Yeah, I am happy
Okay.
that our Vice President Jiller is very vibrant in the conference of the WASMI and in the OMNIR. But I said that our minister, Mr. Amu, was very close to our Mr. Jil Rahman. They visited the 2 years back WASMI conference. But WASMI is very close to Bangladesh and Dhaka. Dr. Rishiras, Dr. Agarwala, Dr. Shamba Banerjee, and other people also visited frequently in Dhaka. Then as a permanent representative of your WASMI, I used to take the people who Dhaka Chamber of Commerce, Federation of Chamber of Commerce, and other. Still, there is a heavy scope to involve them. But I am asking for a policy consultation from your side. I mentioned that in the COVID incentive, our Prime Minister declared 20,000 crore taka for the SME sector. It is used by the bank, it will be used by the SME and other things. It is 20,000 crore taka 4 months back. Later, the last month, she declared 22,000 crore taka in the current going budget financial year. So 20 plus 22, it is a huge amount. Another 30 lakh crore taka is going to be extra budget for total COVID scope.
Dada, I somehow.
But I didn't close it. I want to see that WASMI is giving us a kind of consultancy how we can actually allocate the funding for
I get that. My question
Yeah.
was, see, we do respect the Dhaka Malmal. We do respect the dexterity.
Muslin.
We do respect the ability to use the limbs and fingers. There is something which was different, okay? Something which was brought not at the policy level, at the individual level, which allowed the industry to flourish, okay?
Yeah.
Now, Dhaka Malmal that you're talking about, long back during the British, we have a common history around that, right? It is the Britishers during that period, whatsoever they did, industrialization was happening. So I'm a family man, so my niece is with me, okay? So she's saying hello to all of you. So, during the British period, they were getting industrialized, and this handicraft was something which was a competition to the industry, and that is, we all know what happened. Okay, a lot of incidences in India and elsewhere also. My point is, today in the modern world, okay, India was pretty established. There were other places which were established, but today, Bangladesh, as you say, is a small country, yet it is among the top countries on only apparels. What is that magic pill that I'm asking? If
Thank
you
you.
can point out,
Basically, our
if that is not a
Bangladeshi,
trade secret.
not the trade secret yet. Now the globalization is more or less open. As a Bangladeshi, we are the nation of the entrepreneurship deal, and Bangladeshi took initiative. The other part of the world take the later this initiative. As for example, there is a proverb that what Bengal thinks today, the India thinks tomorrow. What India thinks today, the other world thinks tomorrow. So this kind of cultural or our heritage, we are in the same country, same nation, and same kind of thinking. So Bangladeshi, a country of resilience, as the cyclone hit us, as the flood hit us, but we again stand up and we can, raise up. So in this crisis also, the Bangladeshi people,
So
they are,
this thing what you just said, I think I definitely agree to this. Bangladesh and West Bengal, these are areas which are at on the mouth of Brahmaputra and Ganga, and which are almost perennially flooded. So
yeah,
their resilience has to be there, no doubt about it. Sir,
yeah.
in interest of time, there are some people who want to have ask some questions. I'll ask them to please ask the questions so that we're
Just
able to take. Yeah,
one
please.
minute more. 1 minute
Yeah,
more.
please,
This
please,
is
please, please.
I frequently visit SME and Dr. Agarwal, Mr. Sanjeev, and other people always actually offer their hospitality. I enjoy that. My request to the Wasmi and you people who are actually a great personality, Mr. Prabir Roy, also I can see that, and I enjoy his talking. What consultancy you can offer us to start MISME? I dream about MISME. We say SME, but I learned it in when I was in training in Noida, Minister of MISME, the concept of a small and medium. The poor people now in Bangladesh, those are poor of the poor. They are looking for few hundred taka, few thousand taka only. If they get it, they can change their fate. So a kind of idea, concept, consultancy you can provide us through digital or email or Zoom connection, that our government think of the MISME, a small, micro and a small. We do not focus on the micro. This is my last.
I,
Well
I would
noted,
like
sir.
to-
Well noted.
I would like to
Yeah.
answer that last question if I
Yeah,
can.
please. Yeah, please, please, please.
So I think this is a very important thing. Today in India, we have done a survey that there are 5 lakh crores worth of thelawala vendors, street side sellers, etc. 5 lakh crores.
Absolutely.
Now I think Maharashtra government or one of the governments has identified 77,000 such people. And they are trying to bring them on board the formal economy by doing some social security or medical insurance or some kind of direct benefit to them, but also in trying to see how credit, exactly this 100 rupees or 200 rupees or 1,000 rupees, can be provided to these people through some local public private or quasi government or state government or maybe the BMC support. So at least in India, I don't know how well it will finally happen. Atul will be he'll be the guy who will ask the tough questions, but at least we have identified कि ये जो नैनो सेक्टर है ना, आप लोग MSME
Yeah.
करते हो, मैं बोलता हूँ NSMME, nano sector. And if you do the statistical, you would find 90% people in a nano stage.
Yes.
So if we have to do something for the nano stage, which is many of us below the 5 crore, 1 crore turnover or capital investment, which is 90% of India, if credit goes there or some support goes there, like it has done in America, small shop will get their stimulus package in their account. If we can do similar things in India, even doing the health insurance of the worker or paying for his whatever registration or some medical, that will be a great game changer. But at least we have become aware of this problem.
Awesome.
Maybe in Bangladesh also identify these nano sector elements and who are in there, who are these people, and try and say, yes, in the next 6 months, we will try and reach out to them, register them, get the data regarding them, then examine how to give them some support and help. That is, I think, the way to address this. I think WASME can be a catalyst in
Yeah.
trying to create that awareness through these forums and even with the government.
Awesome.
Thank
Mr. Roy, I'd love to catch up with you on this. This is your second cup of tea, or third cup?
Yeah, सुबह सुबह में बुलाते हो तो चाय तो पीना पड़ेगा.
Awesome.
Guys,
All right.
can I join
Can
some-
I ask for a question?
Mr.
can I-
Rahman, would you
Yeah.
like to?
Can I
yeah.
supplement? Yeah, just I like to supplement something. Yeah, my
Yeah,
Mr.
please.
Tokonda, he already briefed something. So I just supplement here something. The main thing the dynamism of our Bangladeshi private sector's dynamism is the main key to become in the like this position. Now we are not in the top. We are the second largest manufacturing RMG manufacturing in the world. After the China, we are in the top in the world. So it has taken more than 4 decades of incredibly hard work to build up the Bangladeshi RMG industry. In fact, the first export-oriented RMG industry of Bangladesh began when Daewoo of South Korea established a joint venture in 1977. Almost, it is 43 years, right? So, see, like this, 4 decades. So, in this 4 decades, our Bangladeshi, our peoples, the entrepreneurs, and who are the workers, who are the involved, they got the experience. And the region of 4 decades, and they build like this from the experience, from the skillness, from the different source, from the different parts of the world. We got the client, and we got the expert, and we got our this skillness, and after this we have built this industry. So it requires only not like this, also the development of our knowledge of these skills, our human resources, our global experts in the field of garments, procedures, techniques, and this at the same time our government supports. The private sector, they given the freedom. The private sector, okay, you go here and there, okay, you do whatever you need. The government, they facilitate. And currently our position, our stable political position, this is also one thing, our current position. Last about 1 decade, our political situation is very stable. So this is also one thing. The main thing I will say, this is our private entrepreneurs, the private business enterprises. Their dynamism brought Bangladesh in this position. And also I would say our global some supporters, they like the world famous companies, world famous brands. They also they prefer Bangladeshis, and our Bangladeshi peoples, we have their very good relation with them, and across the world. And this also our one achievement, that we given all our orders in time, and with the better skillness and the competitivity to the other countries. So I think this is also, there are some things, and like this now, this is made in Bangladesh, and this level now, wherever you go, if you go to the Dubai Mall, or if you go to the, what I can say, the Qatar Mall, you will see there will be Zara, there will be the H&M, but whenever you will see, you like to go in the shop, in this very beautiful outlet, you like to buy something, you will see this is the made in Bangladesh. So this is we are proud of, and this our peoples who are involved in this 4 decades started and still were involved generation to generation. Not only the father started, grandfather started, but also the second generation, third generation. They are continuing this business, and they are continuing the relation with the foreign customers, foreign clients, and thanks to Almighty, yes, we are now in this position. Thank you.
Fantastic. So a lot of respect to Bangladesh for this, and more power to you. All right. There are some people who have some questions. Shripad ji, you had a question?
Yeah. I was,
So
I had a
Shripad ji,
question.
so
Yeah.
just a moment. So Nasik in Maharashtra. He is the vice president of NIMA, which is Nasik Industries and Manufacturers Association. He is also the founder of an organization called BBN Global, which is Brahmin Business Network Global, which brings all the Brahmin community together. And he is an awesome person. He will not tell you this, but I'm telling you this. Haji, Shripad ji.
Thank you, Atul sir. Thank you. My question for Dr. Sanjeev and Honorable Dr. Mr. Roy, rather not question, but it is a request. When we speak about micro, small, medium enterprise,
Nano.
and since WASME is working worldwide, can we put forward our pain to government through your esteemed organization that don't say MSME, say only MS, micro and small, and then ME, that is medium and large. Because when you bring them together, there becomes a muscle power game of large and medium industries who are doing turnover something like 50 crore and above, 500 crore, 5,000 crore and 50,000 crore. The small guy doing entire business of 50 lakh rupees per annum is nowhere. Nobody is really bothered about him. He has his own machines. He is producing something. He has employed some 5-10 people. And those kind of people are near about 90% all over the world. The way US has given support to small kiosk owners, we should think about this. So सूक्ष्म और लघु के लिए कुछ किया करना चाहिए. लघु किसको कहते हैं? ये दारिद्र्य रेखा ऊपर उठाने का कार्यक्रम नहीं होना चाहिए. ये जो MSME हुआ है, the way we are speaking about MSME, you find out a person, whoever is speaking about MSME is doing turnover in crores. He is sitting on a chair where the entire system and all SAP and this and that is available with him.
Right.
And we are always speaking about e-commerce.
Yeah, so let's listen for the
think
answer.
about this.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. We have been already advocating to our government for this kind of definition and all. And that new definition has already proposed over there for MSME sector. In this MSME, and that means 1 crore turnover, 1 crore investment to 50 crore, and from 5 crore turnover to 250 crore. As you have already rightly said, in MSME, we should only include, the government should include micro and small. We have been advocating, and there are so many challenges. Whatever the schemes they are just offering to this sector, they are not going, or the actual beneficiaries are not availing this kind of scheme. I had the opportunity to meet Sri Piyush Goyal ji in January, 10th January this year, and I had categorically told him the 3 types of challenges are there. One is the hand holding, because you are just mentioning about the micro and small. They are the sector that is the segment badly hit, and they constitute more than 95%. As I have already spoken to him, that this is the segment we need to focus on. And I suggested 3 things. One was the credit, and that the banks were not giving to means properly whatever the schemes over there, and the marketing support and the hand holding to them. They have got a very good products over there, but they do not have that kind of opportunity to reach out the target market. That was the challenge. And in budget, they have already created one means marketing hub in each district. They have included our suggestion also. And as far as credit is concerned, major problems or challenges in the credit, and banks are not willing to provide credit over there. And 59 minutes loan and other things, And our honorable means Prime Minister had the meeting, I think day before yesterday, with the bankers and other investors, and categorically told them to provide loans to the MSMEs, the micro and small segment, conditionally, and Miss Nirmala Sitharaman, Minister of Finance, she told, announced all these things yesterday, and means these are the challenges will be there, and we have already taken all these things, and we will forward to the. We have been already advocating to the government and giving suggestion to them. We should include the micro and small. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great.
Sir, these all government schemes are discussed with nationalized banks, and these really small or micro industry cannot reach to nationalized bank. They are getting funds from either cooperative banks or private banks, and the rate of interest is much above 15% per annum. That is the reality of the market. Everybody is charging something like 15%, 16%, 18%. So that is the crux of the matter, because only nationalized bank will not help all over India.
We have,
There
yes,
one needs to
yes,
focus.
your suggestion is well taken, and we have already forwarded to the Prime Minister office. We had means already means forwarded through RSS channel also, different other channels also, directly also. So that's why that was the means result. Prime Minister had the means meeting with the bankers day before yesterday, and announced by Finance Minister yesterday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. I think Satyaji, you had a question. Satyaji, are you there? Anybody else? I think Satyaji is not there. Anybody else who has a question?
Sir, I have one question. Some of the speakers told that government is thinking about this Alibaba kind of a thing on behalf of government. The associations like Atul Puri and Dr. Sanjeev, they should also advise government. It is not government job. With the moment government does this, there is going to be a bureaucracy in between, and the things will not happen. Do you remember once upon a time government have started Dhara Tel? Could it survive?
Yes.
Doing businesses is not government's business. Government should govern the things and let businessmen crop up.
So I would like to just answer this, or rather respond to this. I think this point is well taken, that why should government be involved in creating a Bharat-wide MSME hub or backbone, electronic backbone? Why can't we let private sector do it? And as you would recollect that in India, दो ही लोग हैं जो ये करने के लिए शुरू किए थे. एक तो इंडिया मार्ट था और दूसरा अभी जेम्स है. लेकिन ये दोनों, they have not been able to be scale their model. So therefore maybe government feels that we should come in and play a role. But I agree with you, perhaps government should not get into building this e-enable network or MSME backbone network where every 63 million MSMEs are onboarded on that. Maybe it should be a public-private, or better still in the private sector. Now, as you and I and all of us know that yes, Flipkart, Amazon, Paytms have all started building their own closed group or semi-open group MSME networks for their merchants and for their customers. Maybe just like Aadhaar, they can pool their resources. They can also have an open API which can pull from that. Let everybody contribute all the names and registrations and onboarding on these networks and make it open for everybody. So it will be like NPCI. NPCI in India is a mix of public-private partnership to build India's largest financial network. UPI वगैरह NPCI के platform के ऊपर चलते हैं. So like this, it should be a public-private partnership where everybody contributes, brings on board whatever they have done till date and onboards all the MSMEs into this network, then it will probably have a higher chance of seeing quick scale. Next 5 years, 50 million MSMEs should be on this network. Who owns the network? Not Government of India. Government of India, along with private people, along with associations, along with MSME industry bodies, all of them also have a stake in it, equity stake. So with this, you might see, as the gentleman just said, a very good idea actually, that government is best to facilitate, not substitute the hard work or risk taking or entrepreneurship of all us entrepreneurs. That is our job, to do the risk taking and the ideation and the and growing it, but they should enable it, not substitute and try and do what we should be doing in the first place.
I would add something to Praveen, that the government is in the process of building another Indian Alibaba, that is called the Bharat Mart, that is in PPP mode.
I see.
Yeah.
Very good. That is a good idea. I think that is what I'm thinking, but
So-
not controlled by government, and Atul will probably
In this
have
context, yeah, so in this context, I would like to share something that I've been working on it for around 7 years now. And we've been building e-growth, where the E stands for exponential and not for electronic. And over the years, we built a community of around 30,000 business owners, primarily in India. And we'll be glad to invite members from Bangladesh as well. Okay. So here the intent, we work on 3 pillars: collaboration, excellence, and opportunities, wherein business owners, they can come together, collaborate among themselves, help on building excellence within the organization. I was talking about the intrinsic part. I'm saying in spite of the government, not because of the government. See, government has got too many things to do. If I don't help myself, nobody else is going to come and help me. So with that thought, we've been working on this platform. This is the basic subscription per annum starting today is only 1508, which is 1508. 15th of August is our Independence Day, and that is the charge for one entire year. So that is something which is available to all of you. We are looking forward to engage with more and more associations and chambers.
Yeah.
Cutting across the boundary of these are my people. See, if your people survive, you survive. It is not the other way around. So I grow because you grow, not because, not that I grow because of me, you would grow. It will never happen that way. So that is one thing. If we can take that away, I think that'll be great. Any other questions? Anybody else who wanted to share something and because of some reason we've not allowed you to speak?
Sir, please ask Vasme to send the presentation because it was run through very fast. We could not really get the slides.
Sure.
I will share, sir. I will share.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
Mr.
And if you think there was some, yeah, Dada.
There is a platform. This is called EEF, Entrepreneurship and E-commerce Platform.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is they have 1 lakh member. They have 1 lakh member in Bangladesh. So I was appointed as advisor. So your e-group and your our EEF can work together.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'll get connected with you immediately after this and let us see how we can take it from there. All right. Satyaji is back. Satyaji, you had a question.
Yes, thank you, Atulji, and good morning, everyone. First, let me wish you all a happy Eid. I'm very impressed with the Vasme presentation by Dr. Sanjeev, Mr. Rahman Bhai, as well as Mr. Roy, Tapan Basji. It is a great work you are doing, and we want to be a part of this. I'm a social entrepreneur in Delhi. All my learning has been from the great Dr. Mohammad Yunus. Actually, I worked with him 25 years back, actually, and got a lot of learning from him. And so you are talking about nanos also to be added to MSME, and I support that. And we are creating nano entrepreneur in rural India called VLE, Village Local Entrepreneurs. They are modeled on Professor Mohammad Yunus thing on the Grameen, where he created about 30 years back the wireless woman. This lady which used to roam in the village with a mobile phone and making the families to talk to their near and dear one through the mobile phone. That time, nobody could afford an individual mobile. Those were the days. So from that, we have taken and we have called these Udmi Bahu. They will be same thing they will be doing with Wi-Fi, with your Grameen wireless women did for mobile phone. So everything is modeled on that. And so they rightly fall under these nano concept of Dr. Roy. And they are really very, very micro and below micro kind of thing. So we like to associate with your organization also and get some advice and help. Our immediate advice required is two of our MSME actually, which I'm leading. One is Blue Town and other is SAM, which Mr. Ajit the CEO. So we are struggling with these micro credit and loan from the government under this COVID epidemic, because most of the money which is coming for MSME and unfortunately for micro, the government of India have kept the limit same, but medium size now include big size also. So a lot of the money, the 3 lakhs crore loan which was coming to MSME sector, 100% of that have gone to the higher level, the basically the medium size, which are actually big size now with the change definition. So no money have come to the people who actually needed, because they told the people who have already made loss and big loss, they only should be paid first. Then the people who have not made big loss or who are not much big, even though they need the money, and loan means we don't want a charity loan, but nothing has come to that. I think we have to reach the government of India, especially the minister, our Nitin Gadkari ji, who is supporting the cause, but it is not reaching at the highest level. So maybe we'll need your advice and help and support in that.
You're welcome, sir.
Mr.
You are welcome.
Sanjeevan Atul, about the Dr. Probir and Satya Gupta, Mr. Satya Gupta mentioned about the Grameen Bank. Actually, you must know about the latest situation of the Grameen Bank. Our people and the government do not actually own this Grameen Bank because of the interest, about 32%, you know, Chakravidhi Sud, what do we say? So this is actually a kind of richest country put the money to invest to actually suck the poor people, and the things are now in a very debateful situation. Maybe you have respect on the noble that we poor people own that, but we fail to own the heart of the poor people, poor women. So now the government acquired the Grameen Bank, and government actually trying to formulate the own manner. The government agency, Ministry of Social Welfare, put, you know, very simple interest credit to the poor people. The things were actually advocated by the international some agencies or agents for their, they put money, Yusuf, they cannot invest their money more than 8 to 10%, but they invest the money about 25% in Bangladesh through this kind of NGOs. So there is a lot of debate, a lot of PhD on that. Their estimate was, I am from the village of the Dr. Yunus. My village and his village is the more or less same.
Oh, great.
So we have to go little deeper on that to actually, I don't actually undermine any great success, but we need to know the hidden things of this kind of NGOs. Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So do we come to a close? This is such an interesting conversation that it can continue and continue and continue. But I think we must close. We're already overshot by more than half an hour. So Dr. Sanjeev, Mr. Pravir Roy, and Mr. Zainur Rahman, if you could please give your closing remarks, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. Mr. Atul Puri, you have created such a good platform as you have already mentioned, that 30,000 micro that you have already taken into the association, and you are just empowering them through e-growth. This is the it's a good opportunity for micro one also. So keep it up, sir. That's great.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Atul and Dr. Sanjeev. I think this conversation can certainly have continued for another hour, but I'm sure this will give a good platform for Atul to call us back again. It was good to hear a very frank assessment from Bangladesh by Tapan, also on the Grameen Bank and Dr. Yunus's model. There are pros and cons to each model. And we have learned from Dr. Mohammad Yunus about microfinance and self-help groups. India has got a fairly good record in that. On the what WASME can do for MSME and NMSME, Nano, is I think we have started a good initiative. Maybe Atul can talk more on this Bharat wide network, that is Bharat Mart, how we can all contribute towards that and electronify India's MSME sector, which will be the most successful program on the same grounds as Aadhaar and RuPay. If we can have a similar program, many of the questions which are coming today will not come, because all of us will be on the network. We will have access to credit, loan, sellers, buyers, contractors, vendors, GST filing, everything. This is, I know, like a dream, but that is how you start the journey. You have a dream, you have a vision, and then you try to implement that. And all of us have been through that. Aadhaar was a dream and a vision. RuPay was a dream and a vision. GST was a dream and a vision. So large countrywide, pan-India, pan-global projects have to start with a vision and a dream. And then all of us, with our individual knowledge and expertise and experience, come on board and then make that happen. Otherwise, we will always be remaining in pockets, and MSME will be that fractured, fragmented sector of Indian industry. And then we will never get out of that vicious circle and always need to fall back on our agriculture or industry or services. I think this is the time to bite the bullet, all of us, all of you. MSME's time has come. Are we there to step up to the plate? Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Yeah. Dr. Rahman, Mr. Rahman.
Thank you, Mr. Atul Rai. It's tremendous moderation. It is from your side. Really, you are a very good moderator. Thank you very much once again. So yeah, we already shared our. Yeah, you are muted already.
Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you. So you already shared our views, and it is very much delighted to have with this very, think tanking, the very knowledgeable peoples from the India, and we are also from Bangladesh. But we are looking for the not for the India and Bangladesh, as we are the WASME. We are working for not only for the 2-3 countries. We are working for the worldwide. So very soon, I think you would see today's dignitaries. You would see very soon that there would be our maybe 10, 12 countries representatives who would have like this meeting again very soon. And just let us optimistic about this situation. What the situation now we are passing, everybody, we are in very much tension. Whoever, not we are the businessmen only, who are the day laborers, who are the just the hawkers, the workers, everybody, the airlines peoples, I mean, whoever involved in which sectors, everybody, they are in very much tension, and they are very much suffering a lot during this pandemic. So let us look forward. We hope very soon it will be, we will overcome our pandemic, this pandemic. The pandemic cannot die us. We would kill the pandemic. We hope so. And let us look forward for our WASME's betterness. And this Mr. Agarwal, our Honorable Secretary General, he is doing very well. And you all know that he has given his long time for establishing this WASME. And really, I myself grateful to him. And we should be grateful for this WASME, that their WASME, the platform, who are working for the sake of the SMEs people, as well as the micro peoples, involved peoples, micro sectors. So I think this platform once inshallah it will be like ICC, International Chamber of Commerce. Why would not the WASME would like this one? So thank you very much once again, and wishing to see you very soon. Thank you, my friends.
Great, thank you.
One
And we
suggestion,
look
one
forward-
suggestion, sir. One
Yes, sir,
suggestion,
please.
sir. Better to keep your means this webinar. If you are just planning to have a next webinar, better to have on the post lunch session, because at 9:30 means international members very difficult to join here.
So,
The
so
Nigeria,
we,
African
sure,
and
sure,
other
sure, sure,
countries
sure,
here.
sure. So
Time
we
difference,
have,
yes.
so we have these on weekdays. We have it at 3 o'clock India time. So Monday to Friday we have it 3 o'clock India time. Only on Saturday and Sunday we have it at morning 9:30, so that we can get to work. We can be with our family during the day. That was the intent. So next time we'll have it during the week and in the afternoon.
Fine.
Okay, great.
Lunch
And
should be,
we look
lunch should be
forward to.
provided by the Dr. Sanjeev. He will provide the lunch. Then we start.
Yeah, Machar Jol.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's so hospitable, and Dr. Agarwal. I
Yeah,
miss
but-
my WASME, beloved. So I invite you all to Bangladesh. If the things
Yes,
go well,
thank you,
we will
thank you.
hold series of meeting with the Chamber of Commerce, and we will collect some,
Fantastic. So
members
we'll
for you. Yeah.
absolutely. So we look forward to work more closely with WASME to any degree. Okay, we definitely see that this is the call of the hour. Okay, Mr. Roy just spoke about 1, 2, 3 dreams. I must say here, India was once a dream. Okay, and today August starts, and August is that month of worship where India became independent. So this is the month of independence of India. So a salute to those people who dreamt that, fought for it, and got us where we are. Had that not happened, Bangladesh wouldn't be there, we wouldn't be there. All right. So with that, see you again. Thanks for such an involving conversation, and God bless everybody. Inshallah, wish you all a great Eid. Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.